Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Kaiserreich. And of course we're playing the Kaiser's Reich here, so let's keep this going. We're doing much better once I'm micromanaging this. At least I'm thinking it's much better. Okay. Who isn't attacking? It looks like there's somebody just standing around. Yep. Okay, well. He can attack there. Okay, you guys, since you failed, let's... move you up into there.
Alright. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Zuhören. Befehle.
Don't know if we're going to get to Romania today, but if you're talking about sometime, that could be done. I do want to play a bit of War in the East, because I haven't been playing that game like I should. Okay, you guys. You continue through to there. You cross the river there. You attack here with this division's support. There we go. One thing I really have come to not... Well, Black Ice has been updated, everybody. It was yesterday I got the word that they have a quote-unquote sort of press release version of the mod, which I haven't. You don't get it through the normal Steam way, and so I didn't get it set up for today, but they do have that. And so I can't tell you anything about it, but I know it exists, and it's supposed to be, well, of course they think it's good. I presume it is good, but don't know specifically. Okay, you Italians march down into here.
Ausrücken. Befehle.
Counterattack and advance there.
Zuhören. Ausrücken.
You go there, and you guys go there. Pin them down.
Befehle.
Okay, so we got these guys trapped here. You attack there. You attack there, supported by these guys. Yeah, I'm low on some manpower here. I'm mentioning that is a good hint. Let's see what we can do here. Well, we don't have a large enough enemy to go extensive. Estimated strength ratio. I'm just too much stronger than the Queen right now to improve my recruitment policies to get more manpower.
Achtung!
You guys attack that garrison division. I don't know how strong he'll be.
Bereit zum Ausrücken! Bereit zum Ausrücken!
Oh, I've been ignoring this up here, haven't I?
Ihre Befehle?
See if we can race them to there.
Ausrücken!
Cut them off.
Ausrücken!
There. You guys attack there.
Achtung!
This way. Okay, so this attack didn't work. Been surprised. Thought we had.
Bereit zum Ausrücken! Befehle!
You're just a delaying attack,
Zuhören!
which didn't work out well enough. I'll go with you
Bereit zum
now.
Ausrücken!
Support this attack.
Bereit!
You
Ausrücken!
move up to here. You strike to there.
Achtung! Ausrücken!
You support that. Yeah, we are sending a few more tank divisions.
Bereit zum
Two at
Ausrücken!
least.
Angetreten! Zuhören!
Okay, you got 4 divisions there, but let's keep pushing on you. Nothing else that ties up those 4 divisions. Okay,
Bereit zum Ausrücken!
you take the port, you march to there,
Ihre
come up and
Befehle?
help hold the line. Okay, good. We got this secured, or something.
Ausrücken!
I don't know if secure is the right term, but
Ihre Befehle? Befehle!
join back in, and you join back into their march for consolidation.
Ihre Befehle?
You support the
Angetreten!
attack. And
Ihre Befehle?
you,
Ausrücken!
you attack. Mention to that. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Okay, well, we got more factory production. Some of that I think may be captured, but let's look at our needs. Well, we need more oil. Got pretty good cushions on most of this stuff, but we could do some more infantry equipment, it looks like. We are producing nice sort of modern infantry equipment, but let's do some more. And we got carriers, big cruisers, destroyers, submarines in production. We are the Kriegsmarine of the Kaiser, so we want surface ships now. And more oil. Let's go with these guys. That'll cover us with oil for the moment. We are building 2 more of those, so that will obviously help our oil production. Yeah, I don't know. I think he jumped up.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit. Bereit.
Okay, they're occupying that.
Angetreten.
You guys come here.
Ihre Befehle.
You guys do sort of a flower bomb out.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
With some of these guys attacking that way as well.
Achtung. Angetreten.
Across that river, that would be good move. Before they get entrenched.
Angetreten. Ausrücken. Befehle. Bereit. Ausrücken.
Right your way
Ausrücken.
across that river, there you go. I don't know where the manpower came from.
Achtung.
They'll be in there to support that. Hopefully in time before a loss.
Bereit. Ihre Befehle.
Or they can reinforce it to grab that.
Zuhören. Bereit. Befehle. Bereit. Befehle.
Sorry, Django, I haven't been reading. Okay, yes. I'm going to take some of your advice there, Django. That's sort of good advice. Okay, so we're at a bit of a manpower crisis. So let's just do one of these. So this means that this will finish out this production. Let's go with 1 and 1. Just finish out that. So we are going to continue some expansion in armor and in mountain troops. Complete what we're doing here. Yeah, we'll continue with the Marine Division. Well, no, we'll just go to 1 here. Now, you were saying research. No, research. Wrong. We are pretty good down this tree here, fortunately. But we can improve there once we get this. And we're going to get battlefield support soon. And what are we doing for, okay. Heavy tanks, we're using some of those. We got lots of light. We just don't have much medium tanks right now. So, Oh, yeah. We've got quite a few factories going with that in a big production line. And actually more than we do for lights or heavies. So I think that's a pretty good balance for what we currently need.
Angetreten. Befehle. Zuhören. Angetreten.
You guys are good there. There, you guys attack here. And you guys.
Angetreten.
Oh. Pause.
Ausrücken.
Punch up that way. Okay, so pretty good research on that. So let's look at Panzer IVs. That would improve the quality of our armor. Yes, I am building military factories. Okay, cancel this for the moment. But I'm building a few in some of my allied or my puppets to keep them friendly, as well as improving our oil factories here and doing some repair in China, as you can see, but not actively at the moment. Tigers, well, I think right now, if we look at researching, yeah, Tigers can come later. For the research path, because, okay, here's an interesting thing, guys. Heavy tanks. And, you know, obviously this is a game, but in reality, heavy tanks are big, slow beasts that have a huge intimidation factor. Particularly Americans, it seemed like in World War II. Whenever they sort of kind of heard a tank or glimpsed a tank, because you can sort of kind of look at these silhouettes here between these two. You know, the Panzer IV here with all the the way this turret to me looks like it has the skirting on the turret. You know, the extra spaced armor around it, and this sort of like anything they saw was a tiger, and the American troops were, oh my God, it's a tiger. They just had a panic, might be an overstatement, but it was, you know, the big fearsome beast that they all had to worry about. But they are very slow on the offensive. Now we're using in most of our panzer divisions heavy tanks, but they're right now, of course, these type. And if you look in the 1930s, guns that penetrated armor weren't around a lot, and they weren't overly effective. So they were often, heavy tanks weren't the sort of big super gun and thick armor. They were set up to being a lots of firepower on them, often, as you can sort of see here, and most of you know, the two auxiliary turrets on this. The British had auxiliary turrets on a lot of their tanks, and so did the Soviets on their bigger stuff, to sort of get in amongst infantry and put out firepower. A lot of it mostly machine gun power. And that actually is kind of good and kind of works, so long as you don't have lots of real penetrative enemy guns that are going to penetrate your armor. Obviously, very quickly they saw that tanks were. They got out of. If you look at a lot of the British, like, what is it, Mark 7s or Mark 6s, the little machine gun tanks. I mean, we sort of call them tankettes today. A lot of the, if this is what a lot of nations have, and you can look at a lot of the Soviet mass numbers of tanks that the Germans, as they went in and found, a lot of them just had machine guns on them. They were light tankettes, if you will, and there were huge numbers of these things. And so in that sort of environment, these work. But once you get down into, and a 20 millimeter, and again, and it depends. You say 20 millimeter, but it's how big is the cartridge behind the bullet, how long the barrel is for the increase in velocity. What's the even the round type? What is the bullet that goes out of it made up of? Is it a explosive shell, like for an anti-aircraft gun? So when it hits a half-inch of steel, it sort of blows up and puts shrapnel around, not necessarily penetrating because the explosion takes the path of least resistance. Or is it a some sort of really hardened steel or tungsten type penetrator in there that's going to penetrate? So even if you're just shooting a 20 millimeter, and you can look at a lot of some of the guns, they're not necessarily that powerful 20 millimeter. Now, when you're shooting at a human body, 20 millimeter is, overkill. It's ripping that body apart, so it's very, very effective. I don't know how well the Russian army currently is equipped. But so as these things, including the Salmas, including the sort of heavier British tanks, and of course the T-34s became the norm, this stuff just disappears from any sort of effectiveness. It just goes away. My opinion, not quite for somebody like Germany who's in a desperate situation the whole time. Not quite if they're functional into being scrapped, but you put them on secondary fronts. Go out and fight the partisans in Yugoslavia with these things as they roll around the roads and the plains. They can deal with the partisans just fine. So there's a use for them, but they're no longer front. And then you're moving to this style of heavy tank. Heavy armor, big gun. And what is that there for? Only one real purpose, because are you going to see a guy out there at 100 yards or at 2,000 yards, and are you going to shoot an 88 millimeter gun at him, or round at him, and waste that round? No. This comes down to just two, maybe if you add an anti-aircraft machine gun, 3 machine guns. So you got all this expense to haul around some machine guns to shoot at infantry. And even if you sort of like see a Soviet Maxim machine gun crew somewhere, are you going to really expend an 88 millimeter? Training purposes, yes. You always have the training purposes as a, what to do with old equipment. That most assuredly works. You don't produce the junk, the stuff anymore for training purposes, but you just use the old stuff. So these heavy tanks really are only there to kill other tanks because it's just too expensive. You put a cheaper 75 millimeter round out at them. If you see a Maxim machine gun crew out at long range behind a little, wood and earth and whatever, sort of, 2-hour made bunker that a machine guns would just sort of, not necessarily immediately take it out. You're going to put a 75 millimeter round at them. You don't want to put an 88 millimeter round at them. You want a cheaper tank. So these guys are there only to take out other enemy tanks and to resist impact of other heavy tanks. Now, if you understand warfare like Guderian understands it, or like Patton understands it, there is the velocity of war, and that is something that I'm somewhat concerned with here. Not so much, I'm talking more Hearts of Iron 4, is the idea of speed in the attack and the inability of the enemy to get into position to block it. And so the idea that you don't need a contiguous front line. Again, this game to me is a great World War I simulator. It too easily allows nations with slow forces, garrison troops, militia troops, to move. They move way too fast, in my opinion, on this scale. And so, which I think is done better with Hearts of Iron 3. And shows the velocity of attack. And so, if you have the velocity of attack, somebody like Guderian or Patton would want to do. In a World War II context, yes, the Tiger makes sense because your enemy is building some heavy tanks, so you need something out there heavy too. So you build some heavy tanks. But they slow you up. You want to go down this path. This is just too heavy, too slow, too expensive to produce. And it's not necessarily dollars or Reichsmarks. It's time and, time of manpower, time of the machines to be operating, the expense of the steel and other components. It's just too expensive. This is just some super ridiculous stupidness that was just a complete waste. But this is the kind of path that you want to go down through. And you have this setup now. What you can do, and the Germans did fairly well, is create tank destroyers. In the taking some of, you go all the way back to, well, theoretically even here, but purpose-built tank destroyers is what I'm talking about, not conversion models. You have either heavily armored or light armored tank destroyers that are keeping the overall weight not being too much heavier, keeping the cost actually cheaper than a tank, that you can mount a heavy enough gun on it to take care of heavy enemy stuff. So this is the path that I just think makes the most sense. This has a validity to a point, but I don't think we need it at the moment. So we're going to go and research medium Panzer IV basically, and we'll convert our Panzer productions over to that. Yeah, moving pillbox, that's sort of what it was. Maybe. Well, we got to get there in the first place, so we'll start that. So let's continue. Oh, okay, before we do that, we're going to do a general push here. You guys come here. You guys hit there. You and some of you push here. You guys push here, along with most of you. You attack here to come along with these guys, moving that way. These guys hit here. Okay, so we've got a general offensive along this line that looks like it's going to overwhelm the enemy. There's a lake here that I got to sort of deal with going around. You guys start attacking there. Now, yeah, we use the great bolt for these guys and attack there. Support that attack. Let's hit into there. But you come up. You hit there just to mess with them. Now, before they sort of break up, you support that attack. And you support that attack. Okay, now You support this attack. And
Ihre Befehle.
you
Ausrücken.
strike into there. I think those are all good moves. Hey, Flyu. One. I don't know how much longer. Let's check their details. Their national unity is still pretty good, so I don't think real soon until we take out their northern capital, until we take out Nanjing and destroy some more. I think they're going to stay around.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
You and you attack there. Hey, thanks for following the channel. I do appreciate that. And a note to everybody on YouTube later, as well as
Befehle.
current viewers. Please follow me on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube. Love seeing you around more often. Okay. You can see here the difference.
Zuhören.
This guy here. Oh, come on.
Angetreten.
There we go. With his template here of, and these had started out as a motorized division with some panzers, and they've switched over to the icon because we've added more panzers to the panzer icon. So thanks also for hosting, Arno. Do appreciate that. Is moving so much faster here than we're seeing with this division here, with this template here, with the heavy the one heavy panzer. I inherited that template with the heavy panzer, so I haven't removed it, but I've been converting more over to medium. As you can see, these two medium units. So that's sort of the idea of the velocity of attack that I was talking about. They are provinces ahead, unable to react effectively. You move up to here because you're going to come to here, and you can support that attack just to make it a little easier on them.
Befehle. Ausrücken. Achtung. Ihre Befehle.
Close this pocket. Well,
Achtung.
bulge, I should say.
Befehle. Bereit. Ausrücken. Angetreten.
Support that attack. Damn, they didn't quite penetrate into there.
Ausrücken. Befehle.
Okay, well, since you've done so well, let's cut off more of the coast.
Bereit. Zuhören.
No, just to there.
Bereit zum
You
Ausrücken.
support that attack from there. Okay, well.
Achtung. Bereit.
Attack. Attack.
Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
You stay back just to hold the fort.
Angetreten.
Support there, that's good.
Ihre Befehle. Achtung.
Actually, you know, Italians, you head over this way.
Ausrücken. Zuhören. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Angetreten. Ihre Befehle.
Well, you keep pursuing it, we'll cross the river.
Angetreten. Befehle. Befehle. Ausrücken.
Okay, good. We're making some progress.
Achtung.
Some of these ideas like this, just a pinning attack, just to keep them from
Befehle.
advancing too fast or shifting forces out.
Ausrücken.
While we advance in other places. Wunan. Here, yeah, we've... Well, no, that's not Wunan. Where's Wunan? Not sure where that is. Oh, up here? Yeah, well, we're pursuing them.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
Okay, now we can do more production. So, and well, let's see. Just one more. We'll head it to a heavy cruiser. How is? You're still trying to get those oil and rubber. Yeah, I found it though. Right up here. I know there's a delay between the chat, and at least from what I see on the chat. Oh, you guys advance forward. Come here. Well, they're retreating, so advance, 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 advance. That's good. You go back onto the offensive.
Ihre Befehle.
Support there with tanks. Whose tank offensive is basically stalled, unfortunately. But not here.
Bereit.
Again, velocity of attack.
Befehle.
Hoping to keep that going. And,
Ihre Befehle.
well,
Befehle. Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Angetreten. Ihre Befehle. Ihre Befehle.
push that way.
Achtung. Ihre Befehle. Bereit.
Bertold Brecht is dead. After assumption had already been made for weeks, now we have official confirmation that our German syndicalist writer Bertolt Brecht has died in some rotten cellar, most likely at the hands of a policeman. After serving in the syndicalist volunteers, Brecht was captured sometime after the end of the war. His family, together with other syndicalist elements, staged a large-scale demonstration centered around Berlin. in his support, blaming our policies of not letting veterans return home for his death. Okay, it seems we have created a martyr. How interesting. Don't think, well... see what the velocity of attack here. We're getting much better at some of this stuff.
Ausrücken! Ihre Befehle?
Well,
Angetreten!
and you support this.
Bereit zum Ausrücken!
Yeah, we can do even more production. I think we're capturing some shipyards. Yes, I will be sending reinforcements to help them, but they are at some point just rampaging. These guys here, they're heading up that way, and we're also pushing down from the north, hopefully. Once we get a little more organized there. This is taking me a bit longer than I thought out here in the mountains, especially all these mountain divisions.
Bereit zum Ausrücken!
You and you go there. You attack here with their support.
Zuhören!
Yeah, let's turn this into a bit more of a thing there.
Ihre Befehle? Achtung! Ausrücken!
Control our interior lines a bit.
Bereit! Ihre Befehle?
Pursue across the river. Actually, you guys are going to that attack. Got those guys coming. How are we doing over here?
Achtung!
These guys. Well, because we don't know what the front will be when we get there. Let's send them up here. Okay, everybody
Bereit zum Ausrücken!
go attack there.
Ausrücken! Bereit!
Support that.
Zuhören! Befehle?
Okay, democracy in Prussia. We are improving our situation, hopefully at home here. Restore the Bundesrat. Women's suffrage, okay. But we can do this. Under Ludendorff's regime, many of the privileges of the constituent counties of Germany were abolished. The largest of these insults was the formal dissolution of the Bundesrat, a chamber where delegates from all countries had their voices concerned. So we will get that national focus. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point about the subs. Yeah. We'll shift some. I don't want to totally abandon submarine warfare just because it can be useful. I'm thinking if if for some reason I go to war with Japan. Because it may not be my plan to go to war with Japan, so... Okay, well... Around here. You attack there. And you join that attack. And you support that attack. I think we're going to make a dash for Nanking. You guys keep pursuing that, keep pushing there. Got our African troops moving that way. Okay, now that we've got a bunch of units here, let's attack that garrison division. You attack here with them and supported by these guys. We're capturing even more places. Well, let's do more tactical bombers. Hello, Bobby Wan Kenobi. Good to see you. There we go. We got some tactical bombers. That will help out more in production. Good to know, ads. Good to know.
Ihre Befehle?
Support that, I guess. Okay, so we've taken down Nanjing.
Angetreten.
Let's come back this way.
Bereit.
And let's push this way with them. And you guys can push this way here. And you guys and you push that way.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
And you doing a pinning attack there.
Zuhören. Befehle.
As soon as you're there, you join that attack.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ausrücken. Bereit. Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Okay, you come across there. You use the best shape, go that way.
Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
You support this attack. There we go. That looks good.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Angetreten. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
You attack there, you come down here.
Angetreten. Achtung. Zuhören. Befehle! Achtung!
Okay, if I lose all this, if somebody reacts to it, fine. Oh, Austrian volunteers. Austria's helping out our enemy. Fine if we lose it, but I'm just mostly doing this to mess with them. And am thinking about that. Okay, Italians, you attack there. And you come up that way. You come along with this attack that way.
Angetreten. Ausrücken. Zuhören.
Back from the other province.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
You guys move forward. Get ready for an offensive. Good, we got these reinforcements coming. And you're filling in there, and you're attacking there. Okay, that's all good. And you attack here with their support. And carrier primacy. Good. Okay, so we got carrier primacy. We've been sort of lax on that, but let's look at here. We're in 42. Okay, we're doing 63 days. Let's just do that. Get an oil plant improvement. How is our... That's doing well. Eastern China, Northern China. Good. Is there airbase we can use? No, didn't think so. See, do we have more medium bombers? We could, okay. Well, looks like we could put some more fighters up here. Fighters and bombers. And out here, let's see. There we go. That may be a better idea there. Okay, and on this note, we're going to end the episode, not the stream, guys. So I want to thank everybody for watching on YouTube. Thank you for liking the videos. If you would, that does help the channel. And, of course, please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas, tips. Obviously, there's been a lot of good ones here so far, but love to see yours as well. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.